And a good afternoon, and welcome into a Kansas City Chiefs instant reaction on the 580 Sports Talk YouTube channel and WIBW News on Facebook. Please like and subscribe to the Facebook page and the YouTube channel if you are enjoying our content today or any day, including Chiefs instant reactions to all postseason and regular season games. Postseason's a Freudian slip. Not going to be any of those. We'll get to that. Breaking news. Sorry to not going to bury the lead today. You won't accuse us of that, but any and all of our instant reaction videos, plus 580 Sports Talk daily from 3 to 6 Central Time, streaming on these same video channels. Again, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Go subscribe. WIBW News on Facebook. Go and like the page. I am Dan Lucero, sharing the top of the screen with Brendan Dworzinski. At the bottom of the screen is Spencer Dupuis. The Kansas City Chiefs will not make the playoffs in the 2025 season. They have been officially eliminated from postseason contention. The record will show that elimination became official when the clock hit 0, and the Los Angeles Chargers kneeled out a 16-13 victory at Arrowhead Stadium. Yet another one-score loss in a season full of them for these Chiefs. But realistically, the season ended when Patrick Mahomes dropped to the turf, clutching his left knee with just under 2 minutes to play in this game as he was trying to lead the Chiefs down the field for a game-tying field goal or a game-winning touchdown. Mahomes, who'd been playing with a left knee injury that had him listed on the injury report the last couple of weeks, and that was clearly bothering him on Sunday night last week in the loss to the Texans. It looked like he took a very bad step. It was not a good-looking play. If you have not seen it, it is not really one for the squeamish. He was able to get up and walk off the field under his own power, but needed help down the tunnel and to the locker room at Arrowhead Stadium, and did not return to the game. Obviously, his backup, Gardner Minshew, threw an interception on what ended up being the final meaningful play of the 2025 season. And all of this now feels like a bad dream. I think we start there. You see those websites that they have their probability models, and they run 1,000 simulations of a season, and it will show things like, well, yes, this team obviously stacked roster top to bottom. They made the playoffs in like 99.5% of simulations. And it makes you think, okay, well, what happens in those other 5 of the 1,000 simulations that go on that team doesn't make the playoffs? And well, it's bad luck in one-score games. It's inopportune turnovers. It's avoidable mistakes, penalties. Sometimes it's you end up in a must-win game against a really good defense with 2 offensive tackles who didn't play high school football. Esapole and Chu Godric were your left and right tackle for a must-win football game. I cannot describe what a catastrophe that is. And that's no one's fault, because that's tackle 5 and tackle 6. I mean, what are you supposed to do at that point? Still in all, it felt like the Chiefs had an opportunity, and that final drive was beginning and looking like you would have expected a game-tying or game-winning drive from Patrick Mahomes to look, because it's looked like that time and time again. And I'm sure even in this star-crossed season, this disappointing season, there was still some unwavering belief that number 15 was going to find a way out of it. Instead, he goes down with what certainly looked like a significant injury, and the season comes to an end. And, boy, there is no good news. I guess that is my primary takeaway. There is no good news. Brendan Dworzinski, your thoughts on what we just saw?
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that about, being down to nobodies and, nothing personal, Esapole and Chu Godric, but like nobodies at tackle for the end of the game. Like that to me is not the thing I've complained about all year with the offense, where I say this team doesn't have enough good players. Because, and I'll ask you guys real quick, can you name a team that has a good 5th tackle? No, because it has never existed in the history of the National Football League. Never. Maybe a college team that like has a 5-star kid who got to campus late, and like he's going to be a good player, but he's down the depth chart because he didn't get there until like June. Maybe then it's never happened in the NFL. Never. There's never been a team that's like, oh, well, if we get down to tackle 5, at least we're going to be fine. No, that doesn't exist. So you're right, Dan, 100%. I agree with you there. This is beyond what I've complained about for most of the year, at least when it came down to the end of the game, that like, what are you going to do? You had no one left. It is a little fitting that the guy who ends the season, and I'm not going to put a lot of blame on Gardner Minshew. Like, he's trying to make a play. Your season's on the line. You're pretty much fried anyway. I'm not blaming him for a lot. But of course he's throwing to Travis Kelce. They could have put 11 guys on defense on 87. Everyone knew where that ball was going there at the very end. It's a bummer. And GT in the our guy Goober in the YouTube comment says, I don't blame the offensive line either. I think it'd be crazy to blame the line. Again, you're talking about an international pathway player and a guy who's bounced around to multiple practice squads this year. Like, what are you supposed to do with that? So this game in and of itself is just a bummer. Like, it's just a letdown. And the Mahomes injury is possibly, depending on what it is, going to impact the start of next season, certainly training camp. You're going to miss the playoffs. That's a bummer. You lose 16-13 to the Chargers. And I thought Greg Rosenthal of the NFL Daily podcast and NFL.com put it really well on Blue Sky just before we went live here today. This for the Chargers is like the ultimate little brother moment. You beat the Chiefs to start the year when everyone was watching. The whole world could watch for free on YouTube for that game. And you beat them then, and then you knocked them out of the playoffs at their place as well. This is the ultimate, like, you just beat your dad in driveway basketball, just beat your older brother in something for the first time kind of game for the Chargers. They've beaten the Chiefs before, but not to anything of this scale in recent memory. So the overall issues with the season and with the roster and with the coaching, those all still exist. And we can get to that today and certainly coming up this week on Sports Talk. But this game in and of itself was just a calamity. Like, I'm not even going to throw a lot of the other season-long problems in here. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Like, dude, the thing that made me the angriest, and Spencer, I'll pass it to you in a second because I don't need to spend a ton of time on this. Your season is on the line. You need to win out and get a ton of help. And on it was third or fourth down to go, 3rd and 4th and 1 for the Chargers. Chris Jones lines up offside. They get the stop, and he lined up offside. Your best player, who's actually been playing well in the last 2 games after an extremely up and down season. Like, as soon as that play happened, the first time it happened, it crossed my mind, like, yeah, they're not winning this game. Like, their head is not in this game. Because that's a dude who historically, when they need him to be in the game and locked in, he is locked in. He wasn't today. Very few players were. That sums up much of this season, though, too much of this season. And that's why the Chiefs are going to go to Cabo in January instead of playing a home playoff game or a playoff game period.
Spencer, your initial thoughts?
Initially, like, start of the game, I thought things were looking good for the Chiefs. They had a pretty solid drive to take down the field, and you want a touchdown there, but you go and you kick a field goal, and
they did score a touchdown.
They did score a touchdown. Excuse me, sorry, I was thinking about the defense. You did give up you had a 7-3 lead at the end of the first quarter. I really liked that, and then I thought everything really got stale. Like, I thought they had some good play calls in the first quarter on that opening script. And then after that script finished, like, what were they doing on offense? It was like watching my favorite team, the Washingtons, from like 2015, 17, 8. Like, it was just punting the ball back and forth. Like, the amount of times I saw Matt Araiza today was like unexcusable.
Yeah, at least he was good.
Yeah.
He's gotten better this year. He's certainly something we can talk about moving forward. But something else that's worth pointing out in this game. I mean, this felt like so emblematic of the end of something. Guys going down on every play. You had that one possession defensively where Bolton went out and obviously playing hurt, and Jalen Watson went out, and Chris Jones went out. On the same possession, same defense possession, Chiefs bowed up and held Los Angeles. I almost did it. Held Los Angeles to a field goal to only, I believe, go behind 16-13 on that possession. But then you had receivers going down. You know who was running routes other than Travis Kelce on that final possession? Worthy, Smith-Schuster, and Nico Remigio. That's who they were down to. That's what they were down to. Rashee Rice didn't know where he was. Tyquan Thornton was eliminated from the game with a despicable hit by Tony Jefferson that got him eliminated from the game or ejected from the game. They just, at some point, you don't have the guys. And that doesn't mean that all of the other things that have been wrong with the Chiefs this season, their struggles on third down or their struggles to get to the passer, though they were as expected against this shoddy Chargers offensive line. They were better today at generating the pass rush. But your problems on offense, your inability to get guys open down the field. Mahomes is holding the ball forever, and he doesn't have forever because, again, his offensive tackles played a combined 2 years of major college football, and they were both by Esapole. And that's a bad spot to be in. Your right guard is not good enough and not a starting caliber player. So your 3/5 of your line is just so substandard. You don't have the time to be holding the ball that long. And yet the Chiefs were in position because they got guys who can't get open, that every play takes forever. And Mahomes is trying, and he's in full hero mode to the point where he throws what I think you have to consider the worst interception of his career. That he tried to throw back shoulder. I don't even remember which running back. Was that Kareem Hunt out of the backfield?
It was Hunt.
He threw a back shoulder fade to Kareem Hunt, and it got intercepted. And look, unbelievable play by Henley. Just like the diving catch and the Herbert throw on the final drive of the first half were unbelievable plays. And that's kind of how this season has felt. The opponents are the ones making those plays and the Chiefs are not. It's been the other way for 7 years, but now it's this way. It's the script has flipped on the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not sure a whole hell of a lot else matters other than the Mahomes injury. And short term, it doesn't matter at all because nothing matters. Eat at Arby's.
Yeah.
Nothing matters. The next 3 games, it doesn't matter who's a quarterback. It could be Gardner Minshew. It could be Dan Lucero. It doesn't matter. There's no meaning to these games. I guess we can start there. Like, what do we look for out of these final 3 games? This is uncharted territory for this coaching staff. It's uncharted territory for a lot of these players. I mean, it's going to be pretty tempting to go Cancun on 3 for a lot of your older guys. And, maybe if Chris Jones's hamstring is a little tight, you say, Chris, take an early powder. We'll see you in 2026. But what do these games look like the rest of the way for the Chiefs? Because they're not going to look good. They're not going to be appointment viewing like the Chiefs have been for 8 years.
Let me give you one name, Brashard Smith. If he is not playing 75% of the snaps, then cut him. Seriously, because Isaiah Pacheco, we had the report this week from Nate Taylor. He is not part of the future for the Chiefs. Nate Taylor is as plugged in with this team as any reporter out there. We've had Nate on the show plenty of times. He is great at what he does. He's more plugged in with this organization than anybody. And he reported this week on, I believe it was one of the stations in Kansas City, one of the radio stations, that Isaiah Pacheco is not part of the future for this team. Kareem Hunt is certainly not part of the future for this team. So play Brashard Smith all game for the next couple of weeks. All game. There's no point in not doing it. You have 3 games left. Play him the entire game. And if you're not going to, fine, let him go. Seriously, because you have to rebuild that entire room come next year anyway. There's a couple different rooms. Wide receiver also among them. What, Spencer?
Play Elijah Mitchell. You signed the guy.
No.
Absolutely
cut him
not.
Don't let him back in the building. There's no point in playing anybody over the age of like 28 the rest of the season. No point at all, except for literally having to have enough offensive linemen on the field. There's no point at all because you have to have this offseason a major come to Jesus moment. Like, you have to figure out, what are we going to do to build this team? Because I guarantee you, they're not winning or going to a Super Bowl or making a deep run in the playoffs next year if they build another entire offense out of a bunch of 5'8" sprinters. You can't do it. That worked for years, and now it doesn't. And look at the rest of the division as an example of what the Chiefs should be doing at this point. The Denver Broncos, say what you want about Bo Nix. They have found a way to, make their offense competent enough, and they have built an elite defense. They have continued to improve year over year. The Los Angeles Chargers, again, you say whatever you want about that franchise. One, they found a way to beat the Chiefs twice this season. That does not normally happen for Chiefs divisional opponents, at least during this era, but they have continued to find ways to improve. And even if you're a Justin Herbert hater, that dude has had a good year, a really good year. They have found ways to improve the offense. Quentin Johnston is like usable now. That alone has taken that offense to a new level. They won this game without either of their starting tackles. Like, those teams are finding ways to improve. What have the Chiefs done differently? Nothing. It's been the same roster construction. It's been the same play calling, all of that stuff for years.
To be fair, it kind of falls under the if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Because they kept winning football games. And last year, going 11-0 in one-score games like they did, if you reverse the outcome of all of the one-score games the Chiefs were in from last year, they'd have gone 4-13. And they weren't a 4-13 football team. They also didn't feel like a 15-2 football team. The winning was the deodorant that covered up that something was starting to go rotten. And it all went rotten this year. Now, what are they, 1-7 in one-score games, I think it is? Because all but one of their losses, they got one one-score win, and all but one of their losses is a one-score loss. And so that's the flip side of it. Like, are they really 6-8, 6-8 caliber team with some breaks? Probably not. But they're also not like, okay, you flip the outcomes of all of those, and they'd be right now 11-3, and they're not that kind of team right now either. So they have had the yin and the yang the last 2 years and have to kind of face the facts that they have been pulled down to the middle of the pack, which the NFL is designed, the salary cap and the draft, it is designed to pull you from the top to the middle and pull you up from the bottom to the middle. And the Chiefs felt like the exception to that rule right up until they weren't. They've been dragged back down to the middle. Spencer, what are you going to be looking for here these final 3 games as the Chiefs forge forward? Real quick, do want to get this before, and I'm sorry, Spencer, we're going to let you talk, I promise. We do have comments from Andy Reid post-game, does say that Patrick Mahomes will go in for an MRI for his left knee, and did say, asked about a prognosis. Reid said, quote, "I don't know, but it didn't look good." And that's probably how we all felt watching it. Anyway, Spencer, please, what are you looking for here these final 3 games?
Honestly, just play with the heart, right? Like, just don't cash it in, right? Like, there's some guys, some young guys on this team, special teams wise, that have played special teams all year, that they might be getting an opportunity elsewhere. Like Nick Bolton was banged up all over today, right? He probably doesn't play. I don't, give him next week off, right? Like, he was on the ground.
If could step in and play some snaps.
Yeah, like, you've got guys. I like Gelati. Like, Gelati has shown a lot. He had that pick earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to see what you can get from these rookies or these guys that are playing on special teams. And there's no reason to play Trent McDuffie the rest of the season. You guys just talked. Kevin Knowles. See what Kevin Knowles could do. You signed him to be a good special teamer. Well, play double duty. You're playing against the Titans next week. You should be able to throw out your second strings and blow them out.
Well, you speak about the defense. I think you make a good point. I think that's where we're going to see a lot of it's the most opportunity to see a lot of new guys and kind of see what they can do. Defense played well, I thought, this week. Played pretty well last week. Nothing to show for it. But I thought the group played pretty well, took the advantages that they had the last couple of weeks. But, yeah, it's time for more Ashton Gelati snaps. It's time for more Jeffrey Bassa snaps. He hardly gets out there. I want to see what kind of athleticism he's got at linebacker, if it's playable, if he can hold up against the run. The preseason returns on that weren't very good, but still, like, this is the time to find out against some live fire. Noel Williams, a little bit too penalty prone for my liking right now. He's a physical player. That has happened to a lot of young Chiefs defensive backs. They have been penalty prone young players. L'Jarius Sneed was really penalty prone. Jalen Watson early on was very penalty prone. So Noel Williams going through that too, but he's got to be out there. You got to see more from him. Brashard Smith is the one guy on offense. Maybe some Jalen Royals if he's healthy, if you feel comfortable with him knowing the offense. No idea. Like, the Chiefs offense without Patrick Mahomes, we've seen it for 4 games the last 8 years. The 2, maybe 3 he missed after the dislocated knee in Denver was 2.
It was technically 3. The injury happened in the first half of that game, but yeah. He then missed. They lost to Green Bay. They beat Minnesota. They won the Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then, the couple of Week 17s he sat out, and then a good chunk of the Browns playoff game, like a quarter and a half of that. Yeah, we had no idea what it's going to look like. I do know this. Not going to be able to run the ball worth a damn, because it doesn't matter who the quarterback is. They stink at running the ball. And honest to God, I don't think it's so much the run game concepts. I thought in the first half, I saw some plays that looked like they were going to have some nice cutback lanes open, and Isaiah Pacheco being like, no, thanks. I don't believe in any of that. I'll take my 4. I'll run right into the back of Kingsley here off the left side, instead of cutting back to the right. Just blinders, like a racehorse. He's got blinders on when he.
I got one more guy I want to see something from. I want to see something from Jared Wiley.
If there was something to be seen, I think we would have seen it by now. But
I think you're right. Like, you have to find a post Kelsey. Like, you have to find something, and it might not be on the roster. But to your point, like, you might as well see if he's got any juice.
Yeah. So I don't disagree with that larger point, Spencer. I am a little concerned that there might just not be nothing there, and that's why he couldn't get on the field ahead of Robert Tonyan for the better part of this year. But no, pretty much everybody who's still under their rookie deals ought to be getting the lion's share of the looks moving forward. And you know what? That does include Esapole at left tackle, because his first game, not bad. Today, not good. Maybe more Chew Godric at right tackle. I don't know, man. Jalen Moore took a pounding in the first half of that game and had to come out. We know Juwan Taylor's hurt. Chiefs probably already know what they're going to do with him. Obviously, Josh Simmons has been out. Trey Smith out. Don't need to rush him back. But these are uncharted waters. These are strange times, and we'll navigate them together as we move forward. As the rest of these games in 2025 for the Kansas City Chiefs mean nothing. We'll get MRI results from Mahomes' injury maybe as soon as tonight, probably tomorrow. And we'll find out what it looks like for him. And you made the point, Brendan, like that impacts training camp. If you're going to go into next year feeling like, hey, we've got to overhaul everything we do on offense, it's going to be tough to do that if your quarterback is rehabbing a significant knee injury. So it throws your offseason was already going to be in flux offensively because it couldn't keep being this. Like, obviously, it couldn't keep being this. But if it's going to be different, you're going through mini camp, you're going through OTAs, you're going through potentially the preseason. You don't have your guy who's going to be at the helm of it all, potentially. So it's a grim scenario, and I wish I had a light at the end of the tunnel for you, but that light's a moving train, folks. I don't have. I like to leave these things on an optimistic note if I can, but that was the season that ended today. That was Mahomes's career that potentially has suffered its first significant injury, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes together on 580 Sports Talk, weekdays from 3 to 6, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, 580WIBW.com, and these same video channels. Brendan, I know you want to watch the pack. We'll let you go. Spence, that's Spencer Dupuy on the bottom side of the screen. You'll hear from him tomorrow or Tuesday on 580 Sports Talk. You'll hear plenty of me throughout the week. My name's Dan Lucero. For the guys, thanks for tuning in. Please do like the Facebook page. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We'll have a lot more to say about the Chiefs in the final 3 weeks of the regular season. And then in January, hope y'all like college basketball. This has been a 580 Sports Talk, Kansas City Chiefs instant reaction. Once again, for Spencer Dupuy, Brendan Rosinski, I'm Dan Lucero. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.